From the theater stage to the big screen, Aldís Amah has been pioneering, breaking barriers, and telling powerful stories that have helped people to see Iceland in many different ways, including representation-wise. And I've had the honor of interviewing her before on the All Things Iceland podcast, but now we get to do it in partnership with Center Hotels. And I got to get into bed with this amazing actress who's sharing about her journey, evolving from being a person who wanted to do this full time to fully being in it and all that comes with that role. So without further ado, let's get into this conversation with this amazing pioneering woman. All right, it feels like a reunion.
It does.
Because Aldís Amah is back on the All Things Iceland podcast.
This is a reunion. People do 10-year reunion.
Yeah, we're almost there.
Yeah, we're almost at 10.
And I'm not gonna, in terms of, first of all, welcome to All Things Iceland and in bed with an
cozy.
Awesome Icelandic actress.
Ooh, in bed with an awesome podcast host.
Thank you. And for those who are not aware, I had the honor of interviewing Aldís back in the day, in the very beginnings of All Things Iceland, 2018, 2019 time. And so much has happened. First of all, you're a powerhouse. You were incredible. You were making waves and doing amazing art. And we're going to get into all of that.
Thank you. Excited.
Because as I've been following you, I'm like, that's my internet cousin.
Honestly, and the same for you, because I remember back in the day, this was such a small... By the way, can I look at the camera?
Yeah.
That's fine. Yeah, okay. I remember back in the day, you just started this, and of course, you knew my mom before you knew me, and that's how, and we were doing this tiny little podcast in my living room in this like bare apartment that I just bought.
Yeah, with April.
With April, she's still with us.
Yes,
my baby
still
girl.
kicking it.
She's not kicking it.
No,
she's
hanging in there.
Yeah, she's in her 13th year, my baby girl. But I remember back then, both of us were just like coming up, and I feel like there has like, because you haven't quit, I didn't quit, and now we're kind of looking at, I guess, where our life is, and it's just weird to see how both of us have had quite a successful trajectory.
Yeah. I'm so proud of you.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. And for anyone who wants to know like your backstory, they can go and listen to the episode, because I don't want to jump into like childhood stuff and everything, because it's already been unpacked a little bit.
Yeah.
But also we have a lot to catch up on, right? So first of all, that same period of time, you were named Fjallkonan, which is the Lady of the Mountain. It's a very prestigious role to get, because it's when Iceland celebrates National Day on June 17th. There's a Fjallkonan, and nobody knows who it is until the moment you step out, right?
That is true.
And so I believe you're the first woman of color that got this, representation for the nation. You were representing the nation on that day. How was that? First of all, when you found out, and then on the day, like, what was going on in your mind?
When I found out, I was literally on my way back I was a flight attendant at the time, as I think we discussed in the previous episode. I was on my way back. I was in the flight crew bus, on the bus, and I get a call. And honestly, I thought it was a joke.
Yeah.
I mean, because it's so weird to get this call. I mean, I don't think anyone really knows, and I don't want to spoil anything. So, like, I don't know if people know how this happens, but
I don't. Definitely.
No, okay.
So
well,
I'm curious.
What I can say is that I think it's the Ministry of Education that offers a selection to the Prime Minister at the time, and like these are the people. That's, if I remember correctly. Like, please do not come for me if this is wrong.
It's like, don't quote me on this.
Yeah, do not quote me. But
it's been 7 years, so fair enough.
It has. But if I remember correctly, it was the Ministry of Education, and they present some options. Like, we think these people would be great as the Lady of the Mountain, and then the Prime Minister makes the final selection. So it's also that it is quite prestigious.
Yeah.
And you have no clue you're being offered up. Like, this is just something that you just get the call. If you were selected, you will be getting the call.
Oh, it's that secretive.
It is. And they tell you, like, I'm there on the phone. I got my coworker next to me, and I have no idea. I need to be keeping this a secret. And they're like, we wanted to ask if you would be interested. And I was like, do you even say no?
Right?
Like, what?
Is that an option?
I don't know.
But imagine, like, am I gonna get backlash if I don't do it?
Honestly, I mean, this is honestly, because also it's only actresses at this time. At this point in time, it's only actresses that ever get this a nomination or are offered this role, because it is a role,
Yeah,
for sure. So
and you have to recite.
you have to recite, and I mean, you actually do not have to memorize the lines. I found out afterwards.
But to be fair, your performance was beautiful, so it was great that you did it that way. Because,
oh my god, it is hilarious. I gotta say, I know we're jumping really forward, but I forgot a line.
Oh,
because I thought that we would be given like this beautiful black book, because I felt like everyone I'd watched online had this little book, like this notebook that had. So I was like, I'm gonna memorize the lines just to be safe, because I want to be able to kind of engage with the crowd, but I'm gonna keep the book with me, just just if I were to forget something. But then on the day, of course, everything is going wrong. Like my pantyhose rips open. My dad has to bring me new ones. Like it's all going to absolute like shite.
yeah.
Thank you. And then I asked them probably like just 15 minutes or so before the performance, can I get the book? And they're like, what book? I'm like, the black book. Yeah, you can keep your book. I'm like, no, I don't have a book. You have the book with the poem in it, right? With all the poems. No, everyone just brings their own if they want to. So I had
There's
to,
no briefing.
like, honestly, I had to raw dog it there. And
that's one way of putting it.
literally, I was so stressed.
Oh, no.
And for a second, like standing there looking at all these like really important diplomats and, all these faces. And for a second, I kind of like spaced out.
Yeah.
My mom has told me now she died a little bit that day looking at me. But
she knew what was going on.
she knew. She was like, my girl has lost the plot.
Yeah.
And I remember just shaking there. But at the same time, a helicopter flew across. And afterwards, I saw online that people thought I'd made this really intentional pause for my words to be heard. Yes, actually, a dramatic pause for effect. This helicopter is not going to take away my, my scene.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's how I found out. I was on the way back home from work, and I was like, kind of like in the bus, and they were like, "You can't tell anyone." I was like, "Oh." So I couldn't tell anyone, and I didn't.
Oh, I had you on speakerphone.
Yeah, exactly. No, honestly, because I can't remember if they said like, "Are you alone?" or something, but no one knew. No one knew. I just said like, "I just got a really interesting project" or something.
Yeah.
Another funny thing is that a restaurant, I don't know, I think a lot of the people that are watching this, if they've been to Iceland, they've probably been to this restaurant, but there was a restaurant that opened literally a few days earlier called Fjallkonan downtown.
Yeah, I know that. Yes. I was like, where's she going with this?
And they have this theme of like, they want to get inspirational women, and they wanted them to decorate the walls, and they were calling them Fjallkonur, like the plural. And they'd asked me to be one of the first to be on the wall.
Yes.
So
I think when you go up the stairs, right? There's
exactly.
Yes, I've seen this.
And it was there. I think this is probably February or March when we were doing that photo shoot, and then I get the call in like May or something. But I remember I was there doing makeup, and I was like,
so
before I got it,
they were calling it.
They were calling it, and I said, you know what,
amazing.
this is one of my dreams, to be a lady of the mountain, and here I am doing it for a restaurant. That's so fun. And we're like, well, we know what the next step is.
And you were like,
later.
yes,
exactly.
That
and then
so cool.
the world was listening.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, so that was kind of cute. And we went to Fjallkonan afterwards.
Yeah.
Of course we did. As you do.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I think that was the question, right?
Yeah,
What happened?
And your mic can be a little bit lower, I think.
It can?
Yeah, like a little bit. So, well, in terms of projects though, right? So, because I remember when we were talking and you were in this space of, like you mentioned, you were working for Iceland Air, really trying to transition as a full-time actress. You had studied and graduated from, in theater, and like you had all of the chops and all of the passion, but it's just like, when is this going to happen for me?
Yeah.
Right. And so transition wise, where you had things like Valhalla Murders and blah, 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 like when did it start to click that this is going to work out? Like, this is going to be my career, and I can now like let go of, because for a lot of artists, the biggest thing is they need that security.
Yeah.
Yeah. Of like a job and that employs you to do stuff, instead of I'm going to just go for this.
I have to say, I probably got the smoothest transition you can get.
Nice. Love to hear that from
you.
Yeah,
exactly. Like, I almost feel a little guilt-ridden just saying it, but I have it written in my diary. 1st of January 2020, I write that my goals for this year is to fully embrace acting. I was gonna finish the summer at Iceland Air. That's where I worked. I was gonna finish the summer, and then in September I was gonna just like go headfirst into acting and just hope it will catch me. For those who may not remember, COVID happened.
Yes, in March of that year.
I remember sitting at the hotel in Toronto, and I saw the first reports from COVID coming to Europe. No, to the States. This is Canada. Sorry, America. And I remember like, oh, wow, that sucks for them. Sucks for them. Hate to be you. Flew back. And honestly, I think it was one of the last flights I did.
Wow.
But of course, I was very lucky. So I had been offered a role after auditioning for Katla at Netflix. And I got the role in, I think, late February. And they asked me, like, will this be an issue that you're a flight attendant as well? And I said, nope. Looking back, it would have been an issue. It definitely would have been an issue. But, I would have figured it out. But I just said, like, no, I've always figured everything out so far. And it's not going to be an issue. But then I wasn't flying. But we, of course, were still getting paid because everyone's still getting paid in Iceland, at least. They didn't fire us immediately.
Right.
So I was able to do Katla, and that gave me a lot of financial security because I was working, and Iceland was one of the, I think Iceland and South Korea were the only places Netflix was shooting during this time. I'm not even kidding. Yeah, and I think they were shooting Squid Game, like on okay. So we were shooting Katla and Squid Game, and that was it. And that, it gave me security. I, of course, as we have discussed, we had our last podcast in my little apartment, so I had a home. And then the summer passed, we were all rehired if we wanted, and I decided to kind of honor my promise to myself.
You could make that choice.
I could make that choice, and I had been able to save up some money, so I felt comfortable enough to do it. And thank God I did.
Awesome. Yeah.
I do miss flying, though.
Yeah. Okay. Well, you can always get on the plane if you want to.
That's true.
Right. You'd be like, hi, everybody. I'm going to go to my seat now.
Honestly, it's more fun being a flight attendant than a passenger.
Really?
Yes.
Okay. Why is that? I'm just curious.
Obviously you have a purpose. And sure, it's fun, for a minute to be able to just sit back and play computer games or watch a show or something. But I get bored. I mean, I can. Don't get me wrong. I can sit for hours playing computer games, but it's just like you don't move around that much, and you start to feel uncomfortable. I can't sleep on planes for the life of me.
Yeah, I have a hard time with that too.
Yeah, so at least as a flight attendant, you're walking around, you're engaging with people, you have something to do the entire time. So I think, I kind of miss it. And then at the end of the flight, you'll be in another country very often, which of course is the same as a passenger. But I don't know. It's just like, it's definitely more fun, I think. Yeah. Time goes by faster.
Okay. And with Katla, because that was also filmed at a time, like you mentioned, during COVID. So Vik was bare. It was just nobody there, right? Yeah. So turning that area into a film set, like how was that for you? Because you're born and raised here, right? Yeah. And this is almost like going back in time in essence, like before Iceland had a crazy amount of tourists. But what was it like being on the set, being in this atmosphere?
Funny thing is, I shot most of Katla in a closed off studio.
Oh,
yes. Okay. So the scenes we're like, we're in a truck, we're driving through the snow. It's a studio. I had 1 day of shooting outside a studio. Yeah.
Well, that's fortunate for you. So you don't have to be like in the
true
Icelandic weather, but still.
True.
I didn't know that.
It was the day we were on the glacier, and that's the only thing. But the funny thing is, it's only half of the scene is me actually being on a glacier. The other half, where they're kind of like the camera pans and looks down, studio.
Well done.
Yeah, thank you.
Had me fooled.
Good. I mean, it was funny. I came to the set because we were driven to the hotel in the evening, and then the morning after we were going to do the. I think it's the the shots you see that are kind of far away. That's the shots. They're actually us going down the glacier thing.
Yeah.
And I'm asked like, "Are you afraid of heights by chance?" Haha. And I say, "Yes, I am." Haha. And they're like, "Well, that's funny because you're going to be standing at the edge of a cliff." And I'm like, "No, I'm not." "Yes, you are." "No, I'm not." "Yes, you are. No one told you." Oh. So I got over my fear of heights.
That isn't how it happens for everybody.
Yeah, well,
it's like there's a huge freak out.
That's how it happens in Katla.
Yeah, that was. And I mean, did anyone have any idea that this would blow up the way it did?
Katla?
Because, yeah.
I mean, maybe a little bit because nothing else was being shot. So the things that came out at that time, I would say I wasn't surprised because this was like, there was scarcity, honestly. But because you were talking about going back in time and experiencing a tourist-free Iceland, that was Black Sands.
Yeah.
One.
Yeah.
And the funny thing is that we then went back to the same locations for Black Sands 2. And that is, of course, 2 years later, I think we shot in 21, so 23, yeah. And, it was different.
Yeah.
There were people everywhere. When we were shooting Black Sands 1, there was nobody there. There were no tourists. All the hotels were just like, they were craving someone to book them. So it was cheap. And I remember it was so nice. It was kind of being like homeschooled. The entire cast and crew were encouraged to not leave the hotel. So we just had our rooms. And I had a room for, I don't know, 6 or 8 weeks at a hotel in Vik. It was so nice. And I just I moved all the furniture around. I had flowers. I had everything, my little coffee machine. It was like home.
Yeah.
And then they divided all the gangar.
Like the walkways or something? Or?
Yeah, where all the rooms are.
Yes. Yeah.
What do you call it?
The hallway?
Hallways. Thank you. They divided all the hallways, so you would have only cast in this hallway, only crew in this hallway, because they didn't want us, mingling too much. We always met for brunch and lunch and dinner and breakfast. But so you had all the actors in the same place, and they had all so that was also very nice.
Yeah.
And an experience that I'm lucky to have had. COVID, of course, horrible.
Yeah.
But these are the beautiful memories that came out of it, especially then shooting Black Sands 2 in the same hotel, and just you have to leave tomorrow because we have to use the room. So you're just in and out. Yeah, you're driving back and forth the entire time. It was bit harder.
This is interesting because you talked about Katla and then Black Sands, but in the background there's other projects that you have going on, the video game and so how, first of all, the video game with Myrkur Games, was that the first, right? That
yes, that's
you
the
started
first
getting
game.
involved with?
Yes.
And how did that even come about, to be cast as a character, the main character, in a video game?
That came about, I had met the director on another project, and we just got along really well. He then went on to work with Myrkur, I think just a few weeks after the project wrapped or something. And I don't know why, but he pitched the idea that they use my likeness, so my face only, maybe body.
Yeah.
And then he reached out to me, and this would be, I think we have established that this was early 2018 as well, probably around the same time we were talking.
Yeah.
And he says hey, Aldís, thanks for our previous project. We would love if you came into the studio, if you would be interested in lending your likeness for this new game, blah, blah, blah. And it's funny, I just looked at the conversation recently. And I said, I would love to come in. What an honor. Thank you. I'm such a gamer. But I would be really appreciative if I could audition for the entire character.
Oh.
Yeah, you're gonna go after what you want.
That's right.
Go get it.
Masterclass. And
that's how you do it.
Speaking what, is your ultimate goal.
Yes,
right?
Exactly. So I got in. We did the audition. We have it on tape. It's really cute. If you're interested, go check out Myrkur's YouTube.
Okay, I'm gonna
And then I had a chat with the owners of the studio, and we just got along really well. A few days later, they asked if I was really interested in doing this, and I was like, yes, so interested.
That's cool.
So it's been years, and now the game is finally coming out.
Yeah, I remember seeing posts, because we're Facebook friends, of you having all the little stickers on you and running around, and I was like, that looks like so much fun.
It is. It is. In the acting world, I don't think motion capture gets enough hype, to be honest.
No. And you've been in theater, in film, so preparing for these different roles, video games, right? What is, do you see a very big difference for how you prepare and mentally wise? Because theater is one of those, the take is, there's no cut.
Yeah.
Let's start from the beginning, right?
Yeah.
It's just in the real time, how you do it, whatever.
Yeah.
But
it's the beauty and the horror of it.
Yeah. But still there's, obviously for film, I'm guessing, a pressure that you still need to fulfill and everything else.
Absolutely. Mentally, it's probably similar, but of course there's a difference between, you have to learn a whole play, while you can learn. Is he here? The ghost of Central Hotel, is he here? Mentally, it's the same, I would say. You're getting into character, you're doing your research, but then you have to study a whole play if you're doing, obviously, a play at the theater. But you can get away with, and not just get away, that's what everyone does, I would say. You just learn the lines for that specific scene.
Yeah. And
you might spend more time just talking about the scene and maybe a little more time also just like thinking about logistics and you know, just how you're gonna engage with the camera around here, and then the lighting is here, and then you stuff like that. So with theater, you'll rehearse for roughly 8 weeks before the performance, but you know, with filming, you can basically rehearse for like months, sometimes even years with the script. But at the end, it's, you know, there are similar things.
Yeah. I'm always curious about that because it feels so different. Right?
Yeah.
Because you're like in live, you're really getting to sense the person a little bit. But the people like yourself who on camera can too bring that to life, and you feel it. You're like, oh, okay. You know,
I think
I'm in the scene.
I think one of the things that is both really hard and, you know, also a blessing in a way is that you don't have a lot of control over how many takes you get often. You know, sometimes you do, especially if you have there's a lot of money in the project and you have a really good relationship with the director, then, you know, you can ask for a few more takes if you feel like you can definitely get better at this. But that's not always the case. But if you're doing theater, you know, if you suck one evening, and I've absolutely sucked sometimes on stage, and that's awful, at least you feel, okay, tomorrow we go again. And also, only the people in this room saw me absolutely be awful.
Yeah. You can leave that behind you.
You can leave that behind you and just apologize in your heart. Like, I'm sorry. I'm sorry my voice was really bad today. Of course, you're always trying your best, but, you know, we're all human. And you just get, like, you just get the actual human experience when you're watching someone in the theater. They can have gone through everything. They could literally, you know, they could have the stomach flu and they'll be on
right.
stage.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's legit.
Yeah.
This person that day.
Yeah.
Is and it can be beautiful or it can be horrific. I doubt you were ever that bad. But I understand, right? Like it's just life.
It's basically life. Well, with the other, you know, obviously, and then sometimes you even can do reshoots if something goes wrong. There will be. I've done reshoots months later, and sometimes you have to make sure that you don't cut your hair or do anything for, like, you know, 3 or 4 months after a project ends, just in case there's a reshoot.
Yeah, that's amazing. Trying to stay in character, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, sometimes that absolutely sucks. You know,
like,
you don't like.
Exactly. You're like, oh, I've not liked this half bald thing going on.
Exactly. so
okay. And I mean, obviously, as you've gone through it, have you had a favorite role that you've played so far?
I mean, of course, Anita from Black Sands is going to be one of my favorites.
Because we're going to get into co-creator, co-writer.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. There's so much there that I wouldn't say necessarily is directly from my own lived experience, but a lot of, you know, there's a lot of stuff that I kind of have battled with or I'm just interested in discussing. And that's a way for me to kind of bring that to the table. But I have to also say that I think Disa from Valhalla Murders, she was my first big
police officer.
Yeah, exactly, a police officer again, and then she became Anita.
Yeah, that is your role at the moment.
Yes, exactly. That was my first. I think it was my first Icelandic kind of speaking role, because I had done Prisoners as a little bit before I graduated, but then I was playing a woman from New York.
Yeah.
Don't judge me on that one.
It's okay.
There's nothing New Yorkish about my accent, but
there's a lot of transplants.
Yeah, but Disa, she was an Icelander, and I just loved being able to portray a brown Icelandic woman on the police force, and that was my first time doing that. So I love Disa quite a bit.
That's awesome. It's awesome that also got to evolve sort of in a way in your mind. And when it came to Black Sands, where did that come from? Like, what was going on in terms of, did you have a collaboration where you're like, oh, we should write this together, or were you just like, I have this idea?
Nope. Neither one of those things.
Okay.
I did not have this idea originally. Yeah. I was shooting Valhalla Murders. Ragnar Jonsson, who is one of the 3 co-creators on Black Sands, he is our CSI guy in Iceland, basically. Amazing. He's been on the force for 30 years. He's seen it all. He's done it all. He's the go-to guy to discuss a lot of analytic stuff when it comes to crimes. And he was teaching us how to, because he's also a huge movie buff.
Okay.
Huge movie buff. So he loves engaging with the acting community as well. And he was teaching us how to do arrests.
Okay.
On that day, we had a rehearsal, and then afterwards, he was talking to my co-actor. I joined the conversation. Then I can't remember what we were talking about, but he says I am so interested in writing. I've been, developing the script kind of, and this guy has to go to a small town, and I'm just kind of like, it's all beginning, like the early stages. And I kind of make the joke, what if it was a woman? Hey. And he's like, yeah, that would be interesting. I was just putting people on the spot in my life. That's what I was doing. And
planting a seed without
planting seeds everywhere, just like seeds. But I didn't mean anything by it, really. It was just a joke. He was going to contact me, and he did contact me later on because he was sending me some recommendations to watch, because I really wanted to do a good job with Disa. And then he followed up by saying, I'm actually really interested in this joke you made, but I'm a guy. I don't know how to write from a woman's perspective. I would love to meet you for a coffee. If you have any actual ideas, just like to spitball something. And we meet for coffee a few times. I was at this point in my life where I was just saying yes to everything.
Okay. Your year of yes?
Literally my year of yes. I remember like Snapchatting my friends saying, my God, there's a man who thinks I know something about something. And I just said, yeah, I do. So, but turns out I did have some ideas, and together we created a kind of Bible, you can say. Like, we created a storyline. We met like for hours on end at this cafe. He had already contacted Glass River, our producers, and turns out that Baldwin, our director, had been kind of looking for one more project, kind of a crime-driven project to do before he was never going to do another one. Like, I don't know if he really means that, but that's kind of
maybe this might have changed his mind.
Maybe, like, that was the idea. He just wanted this one more project. He was looking for a good one, and Raki had told him he had some things. He was trying to get something together. He pitched our idea. Baldwin was really interested. And I feel like just like, all of a sudden I find myself in a writer's room.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah. So that's kind of how that happened.
It's serendipitous for sure.
It is, very much so. And on the first season, I will say Baldwin definitely took the lead. He was the only one with experience. I mean, neither one of us had ever written anything, Raki or me. But, we all kind of created it together, and then Baldwin handed out, after we'd put down a scene kind of list, Baldwin then said, I think you would be great at writing this scene. I think you would be great at writing this scene, and I would really love to write this scene. And we kind of figured out where our strengths lie. So obviously Raki is amazing when it comes to all police work and all the details there.
You want to have it as accurate as possible.
And we have it so freaking accurate that it actually, like, it shocked some people. Especially like
because it is often disappointing, right? When you watch show, you're like, that's not how that would work.
Like, there were so many things he tells me. He's like, yeah, we don't do that. You don't put things in plastic bags all the time, for example, like forensics. And like then when you hold a gun, a lot of people are holding it like that. Like, you don't hold it like that. Like all this kind of stuff.
Interesting.
Very much. Like, I actually was able to go to a shooting range in Iceland and practice both with like a rifle and like a handgun.
Okay.
So
this is a dangerous woman if she needs to be.
Exactly. If I need to be. But
like, don't take me there.
Don't take me there. But the thing is that for the second season, Baldwin said we're all going to divide the episodes between us. So not everyone is writing everything.
Okay.
So I feel like with the second season, of course, we get a lot more trust. But then I also just I was kind of thrown a little bit more into the deep pool, and that helped me grow a lot.
Yeah. Had you imagined yourself being a writer in this way for TV?
No, I actually had said that if I ever have to write anything, I'm going to quit.
Well, there you go. And so, I guess you came up against this challenge. You're like, actually.
Let me rethink that.
Yeah.
No, I was never going to write. I hated writing when we were at school. I hated having to come up with my own work.
Yeah.
I think it's really scary. And it's really hard to also have to present not just you as the actor, but also you as the creator, because then there are two ways for people to hate on you. So I just kind of I was fine with just that one way, but then here we are.
And do you feel comfortable with it now that you've gone through it? Like, meaning that you want to continue doing that?
Yeah, I actually am. I'm writing with my partner now, Kolbeinn, who's also an actor.
In Black Sands.
That might be where we met.
If you ask around.
If you ask around.
His character is intense. Oh my God.
He's amazing. I mean, when he did the audition, we just Baldwin and I, we just looked at each other like, well, there we go.
Yeah. That was easy.
That was that.
Yeah.
And we had a lot of amazing actors come into audition, but like College he did an amazing job. I will say I was not the one who decided to cast him. Okay. I will say.
You were hoping, but you were like,
yeah, like I will say I gave my 2 cents, but I was not the executive on that. That was Baldwin. But he does an incredible job on Black Sands. And afterwards, we kind of, after this whole project, we met again, and then but that's another story.
Okay,
we're writing now. Like, we've been together since. We are writing now, and he really encourages me to write.
That's great, and
it's fun to work with him. He's an amazing writer. He's written a novella, and cool. So he's a very like multi-layered artist, more so than I am. So I feel like I'm learning a lot from him. But I was very much with Black Sands. I will definitely say that I was in a very safe space. And of course, I wasn't on my own, so I wouldn't say I feel comfortable now. I still have to. I have ways to go before I feel as comfortable as a writer as I feel as an actor.
Okay.
Yeah, we're not there.
Got it.
Yeah.
That's very helpful, because I think that oftentimes when you've seen that a person has done something, you assume that they have felt like 1,000% good about it.
Yeah.
And not knowing behind it, it's like there was a vulnerability that you had to expose yourself in a way in order to grow in this space. Yeah. But like you said, because it was safe enough for you to do that, and encouraging that it wasn't this horrible experience. Because it could have been the exact opposite and made you, go back to writing is not for me. And we would miss out on this opportunity of getting your art and your work. So I'm glad that it was set up in a way that and let you grow.
Yeah, me too. I will say a lot of people think that I just live for writing, and that has been a little hard for me, because I feel like there's this expectation that I'm gonna create something a lot. I mean, I hope I will, but like there's this expectation that I'm just constantly writing something, and that this is kind of like my passion. And I will say at this point in time, it isn't. It's not something that I just do every day, or I have this, because I have so much respect for writers. I don't feel like I want to kind of put myself in that category until I've kind of proven myself a little bit more.
Okay.
So I'm a writer. I'm a creator. I did a good job on Black Sands.
Great job.
Thank you. But I also have writer friends who have done, like, they're constantly writing, and it's like their oxygen, and they have this need for it. And I feel like my passions are in other places as well.
Okay.
So I think that's one of the hardest things, where I feel like there's a lot of expectation regarding, because you've done something now, so you're doing it all the time.
Yeah.
But I would love to write more, for sure. That's something I would really love to, just like kind of push myself further. Absolutely. And I think then I could definitely fall for it.
Well, do you have a dream character, whether it's on stage or on film, that you can see yourself being like, that's for me, it makes sense, whether it's an actual named character or just a feeling that you want to get across, or a type of situation,
I mean, I will not say no to a Marvel movie.
Okay. If you're listening, Marvel, you've got your next superhero.
Like, honestly, I feel like anything that's got to do with honestly, I've done drama, I've done some like Nordic noir, I've done all kinds of stuff, but I don't feel like I've done anything really. It's not that I don't feel like I haven't done anything on like a Hollywood scale. So I don't know if it's necessarily a character as much as it is a production or experience.
Okay, yeah.
But I think I'm at a kind of a tricky age now, where you're no longer considered like a youthful and fresh new character. So like, for me to do Euphoria, it's unlikely. You know what I mean? But like
maybe there are, could be like the older sister.
Like, there are characters there, like, amazing.
Yeah.
But also, I feel like I'm at the age where I'm also I'm kind of I will be cast as a mother-ish figure sometimes, and that's great. Yeah. But I
maybe
feel
really young children. I don't see it as being like a teenage,
exactly. Yeah, for sure. Like... But I feel like there aren't that many. It's kind of sad, but like I feel like people aren't that interested in women at my age right now, at least.
Yeah. So which leaves space actually for, and I think this is why writers are important, and those who advocate for stories like that to become more prominent.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's like life is not ended when you're after 25 or something.
No. I mean, for example, Anita, I think a lot of people disliked her. And I think one of the reasons is that she's at my age, and she was behaving in a way that maybe someone a bit more immature would behave. And people just, they have a very hard time kind of connecting the dots on that one. And I feel like there's not a lot of space for women in my position to maybe be childless or not have their shit together.
Yeah, emotionally immature.
Yeah, emotionally immature, having a lot of like stupid shit going on. And
some I would say not sketchy, but like, really, you're gonna do that?
Yeah,
right?
like
It's
literally,
no, don't
yeah.
do that.
And I mean, we all know people like that, and we might be that people,
Yeah.
but for some reason, we don't really want to see it.
Yeah. Yes,
So,
that's
we
a good
don't
point.
really want to see that.
And we also want to assume that the majority of people are acting the way you think
Yeah,
they should act. And
yeah.
that's where we get off kilter, because again, you miss these stories or the reality of the situation, which is we have very many different people
Yeah.
in their lives where one needle might be moving, but the other one is stagnant or
1,000%.
like going backwards. So.
Yeah, 1,000%. And I feel like I love seeing stuff where you see someone, you think, okay, you have assumptions about how they should behave, and they don't behave that way.
Mm-hmm.
So
I love seeing it. I don't want to be.
Nope. And that's the thing. And that's the thing.
Be a part of it.
Yeah, I mean, that's why we create these things, so we can be like, don't do that.
Yeah, you see that? Don't be that person.
Don't. She's not liked. They don't like her.
That's not me. Yeah, exactly. Okay, and so as you've gone through your career, there's also been, and I don't know if it was COVID specifically, but it was definitely a time frame in which the talk about representation and inclusivity and diversity, meaning like different voices, people who represent, because Iceland, most people think looks one type of way.
Yeah.
Right? And I think you're a prime example of part of the community of like, we look different, right? Icelanders are born and raised here. There are people who are foreign nationals who become Iceland, Icelanders. Like, it's a very mixed society, more than what people assume.
Yeah.
Not completely, obviously.
No, I mean, it's not as mixed as the Americas.
Right, yeah, not at all.
Americas.
I don't,
yeah.
Well, I mean, yes, yeah. But I never try to say that, but I think there's a bit of misconception, right, about who looks Icelandic or who is Icelandic.
Yeah.
And from your experience, because I remember our first interview, it was a very different like perspective on it. But as you've been going through, have you been seeing a change in terms of representation of different types of Icelanders that are around than what most people assume? And I know you've been talking about it. So can you just speak a little bit about like why you felt compelled to also speak on this topic?
Yeah. It's great that we're meeting now, because I feel like between our podcasts, our interviews, my experience of what it is to be a different looking Icelander, especially in this space, has been quite broad. And I have different views on certain things now than I had when we first met. So when we met, I felt like sky was the limit. And I had very low expectations getting out of school. I thought I would only be doing English-speaking roles. I think I actually hadn't done anything in Icelandic at that time. But very soon afterwards, I did. I mean, of course, I did DISA. And I was, I was lucky enough to create Black Sands. I did Katla, which, again, Icelandic-speaking woman. And I think at that time, and then of course in 2020, Black Lives Matter takes off, and everyone was scrambling here. Like everyone was like, "Oh my God, do you want to do a takeover on my Instagram and all that stuff? Can you speak out on this? Can you go on air to talk about how does Black Lives Matter work?" And it was an interesting time for, I would say, brown Icelanders, for like myself, because unlike you, I do not have the lived experience of being in a brown family or in a culture where there is, where there are way more different nationalities that kind of are able to celebrate their their culture, basically. Yeah. So I can't speak on what it's like to be a Black woman in America, but people are expecting me to.
Right.
And I'm a brown woman in Iceland.
Responsibility for you to represent like many other people as well.
Yeah. So it was a really interesting time. It wasn't a great time for me as a person, a great time for people of color.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then afterwards, I feel like there was a lot of people wanting to, change things. And of course, you were able to speak out on certain things and people listened. I did speak out on some things and it got a really good response, which was fantastic. And then, of course, you can't deny that the fact that I was the Lady of the Mountain, even before Black Lives Matter and all of that, I expected a lot of people to absolutely hate that. We actually had, I don't want to blow this out of proportion, but like, I entertained the idea that maybe someone would, yell when I came through the door because they would probably be expecting a white woman and they would be getting me. And I wasn't sure how people would react.
That's so sad, though, to think that you were preparing yourself for this.
Yeah, I mean,
reaction.
It's the world we live in.
Yeah.
But the beautiful thing is that the exact opposite happened. And I don't think I'm being a brat saying this, but I don't think many ladies of the mountain have gotten as much coverage and interest like I did because the mold was being broken.
Yes.
Probably like back in the day, but like we'd had white, beautiful, talented, great women portray the lady, but none of them had been me.
Right.
Or brown. And all of a sudden people were like, oh, they're doing something with this role. Like they're making, there is a statement being made. It is a political statement.
I mean, this is literally, you're representing the nation.
Exactly.
That is the role.
That is the role. Yeah. So there were a few negative voices, but in general, it was incredible.
Yeah,
so
I
feel like there was this trajectory that was going this way. And then, of course, Black Lives Matter happened. Still, we're going strong. Yeah. And a lot of barriers are being broken. And I am very lucky to have been a part of them. I mean, I was the first, I think, woman of color to do a lead on a TV show.
Yeah, you trailblazing and pioneering.
It's
every step
insane
of the
thinking
way.
about it. Yeah, and it's crazy thinking about it. But I feel like now, I would say I feel a little more depleted. I feel like things have been I feel like everything has been moving backwards a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah.
In terms of views and
and like in general, not even just regarding like people of color, but like I mean we see it worldwide. These are facts. We're stating facts.
There's extremism in terms of like hate culture and
and just people wanting things to be the way they are or the way they were,
or at least what they assume.
Yeah.
Because that's an interesting thing. Yeah. You're saying that things were getting better and they're like, oh, let's go back to the way they were, and it's like, well, that actually was terrible for everybody.
Yeah, like, I mean, that was bullshit.
Yeah, it doesn't help when we are actually more hateful.
Yeah,
right?
No.
It never works in the end.
No, it just worked for certain people.
Right.
So
only to a certain degree, because they also miss out too, right? Like that's what's so fascinating.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So I think at this moment in time, things are regressing in a way, and it's very disheartening and it's very frustrating to have been such a big part of things progressing really quickly, because Iceland is a small society. So I feel like we took huge steps forward. And I'm not saying we're back to where we were, but it is always hard. Even just one step back feels like such a big blow. So I feel like that's kind of where we're at right now. And I'm just like, I'm observing quite a bit the industry, especially like, because I feel like people aren't as, I'm not even going to use the word woke, because that you can't do that anymore. Not me sounding like a really pissed off white man, but like on the opposite side. Yeah. But like people aren't as aware as they were of diversity, and they're not as aware of, you know, the role that the arts play and how a society views itself. So it just kind of feels like people have fallen asleep a little bit at the wheel, and you know, ideally what I think every person from a minority group dreams of is that we don't have to have diversity hires or any of these anything. It becomes a part of the machine.
It is based off merit.
Yeah.
We just go
no one wants a diversity hire.
Right. If there's equity, right? So there's like, we talk about equality, and equity has come up thankfully as the word, because it's like, I remember seeing a picture where there's a fence, right? And like the fence is pretty high, and there's one person who's tall enough above the fence. The next person is not tall enough, so they're just like, they can't see, so they would need a little step, right? And you have another person who is in a wheelchair, and they would need like a ramp or something, right? Like that's equity. It's like meeting the person where they are and giving them the resources they need in order to be able to see over that fence, have that opportunity, not a leg above whoever, right? Like this is
like, we get it,
and it's sad sometimes I have to explain it, but there are some people who are so unaware that that's what it looks like.
Yeah.
That, you know, when you are used to having so much of something, you think if somebody else has some of it, that you're automatically depleted in some way. And nobody wants to take anything from you.
And the thing is,
right? We just want to live our lives and be happy.
I think a lot of people have the misunderstanding that a person of color, for example, or a woman or anyone wants to be hired because of the way they look or because of their sex. No one wants that.
No.
So I think these putting these kind of things into place the way they were, like we need to hire more women, we need to have, you know, more diversity, and if that means you are the diversity hire, it kind of sucks for you, but at least you maybe have a chance to prove that you are worthy, as they say. But now with things kind of regressing and people not being people not holding those standards anymore, I just feel like things hadn't kind of been cemented enough. So now we're looking at a lot less diversity in all areas. And when you're a creator, you have such a big responsibility, especially when you're at the beginning, the early stages of creating. You have to write a character that looks a certain way or acts a certain way or has whatever minority thing going on. You have to write them in the script, because if you just leave it up to chance,
it defaults.
And that's one of the things that I learned very early on. And now, you know, when I see other people creating and I see that they maybe are not aware of this, it screams in my face that we were not able to cement this enough. And it's not because I'm like, I'm not getting a job, I'm fine. But it's the fact that I'm not seeing people like me as much as I was before. And we are here. We are here. Trust.
I think it's the tackling of unconscious bias, right? That there are a lot of people who they're not intentionally trying to keep people away. There are obviously some. I'm not going to make it seem like Iceland's so lovely, like everyone really wants to give you a chance. It's like, no, there are people who are jerks for sure, but then there are people like that's not in their mind, right?
They're not being mean,
right? It's like this awareness of, oh, true, there is another aspect that can be added in, or that is a part of this that needs to be told, right? Like your friend who I had the opportunity to interview, Maria Thelma, right, with her one-woman show about like her mom. Like it just opened up the eyes of people in Iceland, right? And it was a really successful thing because it gave insight into a culture and a mindset that no one had really encountered before.
Good show.
Yeah, and so like these are the things. And first of all, I'll have, of course, a link for people who are wondering for like your IMDb and like these different shows. People can check them out. But I'm just wondering, like, as you're going through and creating, you know, characters, whether it's in your writing or how you're playing the character itself, right? Is that always top of mind that you want it to be something that's representative, or is it just like, no, I'm playing a character, you know, and that's fine?
I mean, just me being me is representative, and that's always the hard thing that not everyone, but people like us are kind of become a political statement.
Existing.
Existing becomes a political statement. So I think, when I'm writing, I'm always thinking that somebody here needs to represent something. But yeah, I think I haven't, of course, written anything else from beginning to end the Black Sun. So, you know, ask me in a few years.
Okay. I mean, you have things in the works.
Watch me. Watch me.
We'll see. I mean, are there any projects that you're super excited about right now that you're just like, yes, this is that you can talk about?
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, at the moment, there's not a lot going on. And that's one of the things where I'm just thinking like, is this just, you know, because as an actor, you know, there will be moments where everything just dries up. And that's what everyone always says. And that's going to be the hard part. And, you know, I'm living the hard part right now. And I feel like it's good to talk about it. People have this very glamorized image.
And it's also like speaking about your life doesn't have to manifest more fear.
Exactly.
Right? It can be like, this is just the waves of being in the industry.
And there is no shame, because it's so easy to feel like, because I often feel like I'm doing something wrong. But right now I'm also just trying to observe, is this an actual thing that's going on that we are now kind of regressing, or is it just a natural lull? I feel like when I'm talking to other people who are in a similar position as I am, you know, we are a little afraid, but of course this is still just early days of a lot of weird stuff happening in the world. So we're also, I guess, just kind of observing and seeing what happens, how the chips fall. But I can talk about, of course, the game that's coming out. Echoes of the End. It's gonna be here on. I mean, this is gonna be past that.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
Wow.
gonna be shown when the game is already out,
Nice.
and the game's coming out on August 12th.
Nice. All you gamers out there, make sure you check it out if you haven't already. I mean, I'm not in the gaming community like that, so I'm
absolutely fine.
far
But
removed.
even if you're not a gamer, check it out because this is from a tiny Icelandic studio. Again, barriers are being broken in Iceland. No one has ever done a game like this. This is a story-driven game,
Nice.
and it's all shot in motion capture. We've been working on it for 7 years. I mean, I've been working on it 7 years. They've been doing 8.
Wow.
They were there
you get to
obviously
see
earlier.
Aldís's lovely face all the time.
Yeah, exactly. If you look out the window almost, you can probably see it from here. But yeah, that's coming out, and it's going to be really weird having worked on something for so long, and then it's just going to be out, and there will be no more working on it. At least, who knows? I'm hoping there will be another game.
Yeah.
But like, I will never work on this project again. I'll never do the first game in hopefully a series of games again. So that's kind of like, it's a little emotional, but I'm also excited. I'm nervous. I hope people like it.
Me too.
It's not going to be perfect. Again, we are a small studio. This is the first time we're doing anything like this, but it's an incredible experience and an honor to be able to take part in it.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And it's not your only video game.
No, then we have Hellblade
too. I mean, just like, I'm so glad to be working on a video game, but I'm also on another one.
That's true.
That is BAFTA nominated.
True.
So let's give it up for Aldís. Okay. Like, that's amazing.
Again, an incredible thing to be BAFTA nominated because I think I'm probably the first actor in Iceland to be BAFTA nominated.
Congratulations to you. That's really freaking cool.
I really realized I was like, oh damn, because I was like, I didn't win. and I mean,
it's like, but you're on the list.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks to not win.
Yeah.
Always. But I mean, it still is a really big step and a really big feat. And I hope something really good comes out of it. I don't know yet.
I think so. So for people who are coming up, who want to be actors, right? And this could be of all sorts, all backgrounds. But if, of course, there are people who are looking at this who might be of color, who might be different, able-bodied, whatever. And they go, I see Aldís, she's doing amazing. And they look up to you. What advice would you give to these individuals who are looking to get into this field in Iceland? Yeah. Because I know that's your experience, right? So what has it been like in terms of what you would tell them?
Well, you can't deny that I'm extremely privileged in so many ways. Exactly, as you mentioned, able-bodied. I'm light-skinned. I'm mixed, if anyone didn't know, because a lot of people think I'm a black woman. I'm like, but I'm mixed race. But still, yes, I'm a minority in a country that is predominantly white. So I would say, even though I'm talking about things having regressed, there have still so many things changed for the better. And don't doubt, because that's something that Maria and I talked about quite a bit. We were the first people of color to be admitted to the school, the acting school in Iceland, the National Acting School in Iceland of the Arts. Blah. And we just kind of assumed that we would never be able to make a living out of this, that we would never be able to get far. Wow. And we have both been quite successful in our careers. So I would say at least give it a try. The worst thing you can do is do nothing. Just give it a try, and you will be fighting. And I mean, things will suck sometimes.
Embrace the suck.
Embrace the suck. And I mean, of course, know your limits and know your boundaries. I'm always asking me, am I right for this? Yeah. But as long as it gives you joy, go for it.
Awesome.
I think that's the most important thing. While you're still having fun and while you still have faith, continue.
Yeah, great. I have 2 questions left.
Yeah.
I'm enjoying this.
I'm not busy.
Neither. One of the things that changed quite drastically is that you are vegan, and you have been for some time. When we first met, you were not. No. Which of course is fine, but it was so interesting.
It was not fine.
meaning, you had your journey you needed to go on. You were like, no.
It was not fine.
But what happened where you were like, I'm no longer in this place where that lifestyle makes sense for me, and now I'm transitioning and making that commitment to being vegan?
The funny thing is that I honestly think if I had been given the choice earlier on to be vegan or more vegetarian, I would have taken it. But for me, it was a lot of, obviously, I have understanding when people especially live with their parents and others, that maybe you do not have the capacity, the mental, or just like the belief or the time and energy to do everything by yourself.
Even.
Exactly. And the support. And support is so important in veganism. That's one of the things that I've really come to find out. But for me, I kind of became vegan I became vegan in 2020. Before, I had been vegetarian. When we meet, I'm probably vegetarian. I've been vegetarian for years. But as a flight attendant, one of the things that I really had a hard time with is watching all the food go to waste.
Yeah.
And obviously, there was a lot of meat that was being thrown out. And you would not believe the amount of food being tossed in the trash, the amount of bodies and souls of edible food from actual beings that are just being tossed because someone already brought a sandwich on board, or because someone was asleep during the flight and didn't manage to eat their meal, like even just ridiculous things. And they always have enough food for everyone, especially for Saga class. So I started eating meat and fish again while being a flight attendant, because I thought it was more disrespectful to that being to have their and I'm not saying that necessarily how I feel now, but like that was the mindset I was in. I was becoming extremely conscious about the environment and about waste.
You didn't want it to be a wasted life.
Exactly. And I mean, I know there are a lot of people who had this discussion, and I'm not saying it's right or wrong. That was where I was at the moment, but I felt really terrible about it all the time. And I was treating myself as kind of like an emotional trash can, if you think about it.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, because it's like I felt bad for eating this food psychologically.
Yeah.
So
which means also not really nourishing in the same way, because your body is like, I'm ingesting this, but I don't enjoy it.
Yeah, and I absolutely hated it. So I was always trying to just like, get it done with and just look at it as nourishment. So when COVID came and I wasn't flying anymore, I just kind of realized, well, I'm not buying anything that's not vegan, really. I think cheese was maybe in my cheese, and I was buying eggs from like a farmer.
Yeah, that's kind of like the last.
That's the last freaking.
Yeah. Cheese is usually the hardest for most people. For me, it was eggs. Because I'm lactose intolerant, so cheese is the enemy anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
But eggs, it's like I used to have like this certain ritual every Saturday, and so I was like, oh, that's strange to like totally depart from that.
Yeah, and I feel that I had eggs were my comfort food. I did love cheese though, but it was a really good. I got a recommendation from fellow vegan activist Maki, right? He said, try Via Life. The thing is, I had tried being vegan in 2016. I was living with my parents. No one wanted to do it with me, obviously.
Like, good luck, girl.
Yeah, they were like, that's fine. And I hated it. I thought the cheese tasted like poison. And I was like, I can't do this.
Cheese has come a long way. It's still got some way to go, but it's come a long way.
Yeah, when I meet people who are like, I went vegan in 2016 and earlier, I'm like, that is what you were working with.
I did in 2015.
Girl, the diet, I'm sorry, I'm going off. Diet cheese was the worst thing I've ever tasted.
It's plastic. It was plastic.
It was plastic.
Yeah.
So I tried it then. I failed. I did veganuary for a month and then I failed. And then COVID came and I decided to stop buying. I decided to vote with my wallet. I think people really underestimate how much you can vote with your wallet. Yeah. I love that sentence. So I was just buying vegan food. I didn't make there is no date in my diary that's like, today I'm stopping. I have no clue when I actually became vegan. Yeah. But I do know that I had a vegan Christmas 2020. Nice. And of course I did a lot of the stuff by myself at the time. And then when 2021 came around, I was fully vegan, and Black
and the
Sun
vegan
and all this
store
stuff.
was open.
The vegan store was open.
Great.
Oh, I miss it so much. Yeah. So what I did, talk about advice. I cut out cheese for 6 months.
Oh wow.
I just didn't taste
cold turkey.
I didn't taste any cheese. I didn't taste that thing. I didn't taste vegan cheese neither for 6 months.
Oh wow.
So it kind of cleansed my palate. I was never going to eat cheese again. That was kind of like where I was at in my life. Then I went to the vegan store. I met Maki and he said, try this one.
Yeah.
It was the Via Life Extra Mature.
Such great products.
Yes. And now everyone's doing it, which is great.
Yes, exactly. I was like, that's the other
fantastic.
thing. The change in Icelandic grocery stores.
Yes.
I mean,
we got to give them a shout out.
Yeah.
We got to give them, I think being vegan in Iceland is so easy. It's silly that not more people are doing it.
All the time. Like, what do you mean? How is that possible? It's like, just go to the store.
Go to the
your
store.
Perception of it is that in Iceland, because it's so meat heavy, sauce heavy,
Yeah.
whatever else, that it automatically has to be like that for everybody.
Yeah.
But I think because this is a small nation,
It's so
and-
easy to make changes.
yes, and people want to catch on, and you need to, if you're a restaurant downtown,
Yeah.
you have groups of people that you're relying on to come in, and
Mhm.
you don't want to lose that service,
Yeah.
right? So you can give a meal for the vegan, give a meal for the gluten-free person,
Yeah.
like whatever it is.
Yeah.
And it just allows people to eat together.
Yeah.
And it's funny because in New York, I remember I in the last 9 years, I've visited so many times. This often I can go into a restaurant and have a hard time finding a vegan meal.
What?
And in a regular restaurant, because there's so many vegan only restaurants.
Oh.
Right. So they're just like, we don't have to cater to that.
Wow.
And so I was like, that's so crazy. And I'm thinking to myself, you don't really have anything on the menu that's vegan. Whereas in Iceland, there's like multiple things. Or,
Yeah.
or at least one.
At least one.
Yeah.
At least one.
And I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
It is either it changed or it was just always kind of evolving that way in New York. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I'm not saying it's completely for every restaurant, but I did notice it because we would go out to eat in Manhattan or Brooklyn or whatever. And it's like, wait, what, you don't, nothing? Like,
Yeah.
you don't even know what to do?
And you can't even fix something.
Right,
You can't even
yeah,
make
yeah,
something,
and
and I'll pay you.
They're like, oh yeah, no, wait, no eggs? And I'm like, no.
Right, oh,
right.
yeah.
When they start to ask questions like that, you go like, I'm not
We can
need
do a
here.
risotto, just like
Right.
Parmesan risotto.
Exactly. I'm like, I'm gonna go now.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna poison me. And
Yeah.
meaning like I literally cannot take lactose, right? So then there's like
Right.
cheese and a lot of
It's
different
fully
things.
dangerous
Kind
for
of just
you.
like, no.
Okay, right.
So,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
absolutely stay safe.
Yeah.
Always.
yeah. But it's just kind of funny when you think of it's a small nation, but can make big strides in areas
Yeah.
when they want to.
When they want to,
Yeah.
and that's also why it's becomes extremely disheartening when we take a step back.
Yeah.
And for sure, veganism in Iceland there have been some people who have apparently given up on being vegan, and I have thoughts on if you actually were vegan or not, if you decide to take it back now.
Mhm.
Not the discussion we need to have here, but like, yeah, that was my story.
Yeah.
That's how I became vegan. And I remember meeting you and thinking, never could I ever.
Yeah. I remember the conversation we had. It wasn't on the podcast, I don't think, but just like we were chatting afterwards. And I remember thinking like, okay, like it's fine. Everybody's
I'm so embarrassed
where
for
they are.
myself.
But I think it's good though, because I am not of the you have to do or be this, right?
Mhm.
Like I can just be a lived example for you
Yeah.
if you want it to be. Or I could just be another random person that that happens to
Yeah.
only eat vegan food, right? Like it's hard because shame hasn't always worked the way that we want it
Very
to.
rarely.
In some situations people deserve to be shamed, let's
Yeah.
be for real.
And I was ashamed.
Yeah. And so but
I felt a lot of shame over the way I was living
Yeah.
and eating.
yeah, and I think it's only because it was not aligning with what you felt was best for you.
That's the thing.
Right.
I've always thought, well, I was just a closeted vegan. Obviously. I mean, I loved animals so
Yeah.
bad when I was young. It's actually amazing to me how unvegan I actually was before,
Wow.
knowing how much I loved animals way more than people.
Yeah. And you're so active in the community now. Like
Yeah, I mean, I'm the
I'm
chair of the science
yeah, I love
society.
that though. You do a great job. And I'm trying to get to
Oh,
more
thank you.
activities. Because I'm like, I need to go out there and do stuff. It's just sometimes like work gets a little bit in the way because
Fair. I mean, it's a
like-
shame this won't be coming out because we're now we're planning the vegan festival. We have a
Yes.
big vegan festival in Iceland. Amazing, and I would love for that to become more international. Actually, that would be a dream. Yay!
So okay, last question.
Yeah.
Even though I don't want it.
No. Well, we just have to do it again.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's obviously, more to come that
Yeah.
we can catch up on.
Mm-hmm.
So when it comes to, this is what I ask everybody. And I don't actually remember if I asked you back in the day this question because it's something that I started, but we'll see if you remember it. But what is your favorite Icelandic word or phrase?
Oh
Did
my
I
God,
ask you
remember?
this?
Yeah, I
Okay,
did. And
was like,
I mean,
I'm
honestly, it
pretty
hasn't changed. It hasn't changed.
Okay.
It's still Kravak.
Yeah, Katla. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I was like, I'm pretty sure I did ask her because it was like kind of my format, thing.
I mean, it's still Kravak, but at the same time, it's not one of those things where I'm constantly thinking, do I have a new word today?
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, Kravak became my favorite word, and I can't imagine it changing, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It just,
I mean, listen to this. Kravak.
I mean, when you say it though, it sounds beautiful.
Oh, really?
Like,
Because, I mean, I think I like how ugly it probably sounds to anyone who doesn't understand it.
but then
like,
you're like, Krada.
yeah,
And it's just like,
Kravak.
ooh, okay.
Kravak. I mean, we can go hard, but I think there's something about it, and also just the way it kind of feels in your mouth.
Yeah, it does have a
Krada.
fun feel.
Yeah. It,
Like fidelity.
fidelity.
Fidelity, yeah.
Well, that's a tough one because
That-
that's
but
like fidel.
But it also has this like
Fidelity.
strange,
Yeah.
like,
Sounds
yeah.
like tickling in her tongue.
Yeah,
Fidelity.
exactly.
Yeah.
I think of words that like,
What's yours? Did we ask you?
woo, girl. It's funny because I think. No one's ever asked me this question.
What? What?
All right.
Oh my God.
What is my favorite Icelandic? You know what's funny? Have I ever thought about it?
See, it's not that easy, is it?
It isn't. I mean, okay, I've used, to be fair, tataretas in the past, but I feel like that's such a default. So
Which one?
Tataretas.
Tataretas.
Yeah.
Well, that's not a word.
No, but I mean, like, it could be a phrase too.
Yeah.
So it's Icelandic
Okay.
word or
Got it.
phrase.
Got it. Okay.
But there was this. Oh my God, it's an Icelandic like a idiom that I used to think was really funny. Something with smjörið. It's like the
Áfram með smjörið.
Yeah, áfram með smjörið.
I have a whole like hoodie with like a huge áfram með smjörið.
Yeah, on with the butter.
Yeah,
I was just like, it's
butter.
such a random thing. And it's like, what? And it's like when you put it into context, it's like, yeah, keep going.
Yeah.
Keep working at it. And I'm just like, áfram með smjörið. Like,
Well, that's a brilliant one.
yeah, so that is the one I think that when I give it thought comes to mind as being like really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In English, what's your favorite word?
In English? Well, it's a curse word.
Wow.
Most people would never assume this, but I love to curse. So I'm an F-bomb girl. I will, yeah, exactly. She's like,
Wait, what? Some F-bomb girl?
No, I'm an F. Like I like to say the F.
Oh, you like to
the
say
F-bomb. I'm being a
Yeah.
little censored here.
I see.
But yeah,
well, I like that word too.
because it's just like, I remember I met somebody because I purposefully keep all things Iceland very clean because I want people of all ages to be able to listen to it.
I should have known.
No, you're fine. You're fine. It's just, one of those things for me personally. It's the choice that I made.
Mhm.
But in my regular life,
How many F-bombs are you gonna drop as soon as we wrap?
I mean,
50.
exactly. It's like
Yeah.
coming out. But no, I mean, it's not that bad, but it is something that just feels very freeing for me to do.
Yeah.
And so I always think it's really funny. I met somebody who, this couple like in Vik or something randomly. They're like, oh, you had this podcast, whatever. And I was like, yeah. And then I said something with like F in it. And then you saw their face. It was like,
Oh my God, that's hilarious.
is this chick for real?
Are
and I
you
was like-
serious?
and I just didn't think about it until I saw their face. And I was like, oh, they don't know me this way. Right.
Oh
And so
my
there is this
God,
like
that is-
perception, which is okay. But I got to be a little careful.
Yeah, no, sure. You have a personality.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm being true to myself. I'm just purposefully allowing for it to be as family friendly
Yeah.
as possible.
No, I curse a lot. And when I go to interviews, I do try to make sure I don't.
Yeah.
I think I did a little bit now, but
Yeah, you're all good.
yeah.
Well, thank you. It's always so good to see you, and I am so happy to catch up and to give audience more insight.
Thank you for
into
having me
what you're
again.
doing. Yeah, my pleasure. And I'm looking forward to seeing how everything progresses and you becoming even more successful in all the endeavors that you're doing.
I love that we're meeting in 7 years, maybe,
Mhm.
because that means our whole cell turnover will also have changed. So we'll actually be new people.
Yes. Yes. Who knows? We'll be.
Who knows? We'll both be vegan though.
Yeah. Well, that part has been pretty
Mhm.
consistent so far. So.
You'll be mom.
Yeah, oh my God, crazy. All right, thank you. And thanks everybody for watching.
Bye.
This episode is sponsored by Center Hotels, and it is amazing, first of all, that we're in one of the rooms getting into bed with these different Icelandic individuals who are making huge impacts in the community and sharing them with you. So thank you to Center Hotels for that. And as a little gift to those who are listening and watching, you can use my code to save 25%, as well as along with that, you can get free breakfast, the ability to get a welcome drink if you want to keep it a little spicy, some checking out privileges like early checkout and late checkout if it's available. But most of all, you're in the center of town in areas that are bustling with life. And if you want to kind of get away from that a little bit, at Center Hotels, they have wonderful spas and wellness activities. So definitely check out Center Hotels and use my code ATI25 to save 25%.